Hello, Yeeps. This is my theory about horror. Yes, this will be a gameplay while I talk and explain. So, my theory about horror, or about any Yeeps theory, is my theory about 2.0 horror is that when the Yeeps, the gnome community, was building that portal, all the what's it called universes in the Yeeps universe collided, merging with one world. But that's the reason we have so-called updates. It's for how do I explain this? What Yeeps discovered that's new. So that's my theory about how. Well, that's not all, but yeah. So that's my main theory. And so when the Yeeps horror collided, there was only one place until they discovered the second, third, fourth, fifth, so on. And so the monsters that were in those levels, they do not like people that aren't their own kind. Let's say, yeah, that. And they don't like Yeeps because they aren't afraid of Yeeps because, well, they are, because my theory is fuck. Okay, sorry guys. So my theory is that the monsters in the Yeeps universe, like the horror monsters, they are scared of Yeeps because they are afraid that they're going to take over the monsters' homes. So that's why they have or always attack the Yeeps when they see them. Another theory that I have about horror is about the family, like the baby, the mom, and the dad. So once upon a time, so in the Yeeps horror world, there was this mother, the dad, and then the baby, and also the closet monster. So the dad was very violent, to say the least, and then because they lived in fear all their lives of the Yeeps, but only for the kid that he thought the Yeeps monster. And then also there was a grandma in the family. It was the granny in a wheelchair, or Mama Coco, as they call them, as the Yeeps community calls the grandma in the wheelchair monster. So they like to kill Yeeps so the Yeeps people don't take over their homes. And then the family, they have lived in fear all their lives because they also thought that the Yeeps universe wasn't real outside of their world. So they didn't really believe in them until they built the portal. And what those red mushrooms did to that portal was they were undiscovered. They're ancient, like billions years old. And they actually found them under the map because they weren't supposed to be digging. They weren't supposed to be digging for them. So the Yeeps kept digging and digging and finding more mushrooms to power the portal. The portal, as they call it, it has infinite power. It can do anything. It has unlimited power. Like, so the Yeeps portal, ever since they found the mushrooms, because the Yeeps got bored of their normal home. So the community decided to start a riot against the world. So the scientists, the government of Yeeps, told the scientists to start finding a way to make their world better. And that's when they found the mushrooms. That's when it all changed. So after they found the mushrooms, they started building the portal after they found the mushrooms, because then that way they could store the power just in case if the portal didn't work. And after that, the government of Yeeps, Yeepment, as I call it, Yeepvament, whatever, yeah, that's what I call it. It's like, and then, okay, so the portal, it has power that was ancient relics, basically. So it opened a portal into outer Yeeper space, whatever. And it found the worlds that it wanted, like that it felt the most attracted to, and it got one, and then it kept growing and growing and growing and growing and growing until they found horror. And then the Yeeps monsters were in fear because they did not want to be taken by this portal that they did not know what was it, or what was the portal. Nobody knew, and they were all asking questions, and they were all scared that the Yeeps are taking them. And turns out they were. The Yeeps found out where the ancient relics have been stored. So then they used that power, like I said, to build the portal and stuff, blah, blah, blah. And then the memory, or the monsters, they actually, okay, so when the worlds merged, it caused a blackout in every world that it was merging. Originally, like the animal world. The animal world. So that's where pets came from, right? The Yeeps decided to tame the pets because of their alpha type personality. So they decided to take over the pet world, right? And when every child is born in the Yeep world, it's one of the basics now, because they are alpha-like, or like wolf. They're like kind of like wolves. Let's say, yeah, like kind of like wolves. The more dominant they are, is the worse it's gonna get for the worlds, because then, okay, so back to horror. So the horror world, right, when the worlds merged, it caused a blackout, like I said. And then when everybody started seeing again, let's say that, they started killing every Yeep they saw because they were in fear of their lives. So yeah, that's my theory about horror. Um, yeah, I mean, there's more to it, but I feel like I don't really have more to say about it. I mean, I have more theories, but like it's not about horror. So I want to stay on track and not get off track. So yeah, thank you Yeeps again for this content creator position, and bye.